Good morning. And welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming community. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory, and we are delighted that you're here today. And there's this strange thing outside that's shining. I think it's called the sun. And we're welcoming it back after a long stretch of grayness and raininess. So we got a little bit of mowing done before it drizzled again. So let's take a nice big deep breath. As we become fully present to this now moment. We let go of what was and what will be. And in homage to today's topic, we surrender to the present, willingly, joyfully, consciously surrender to what is right now, right here. And so we take a moment to simply breathe into whatever space you are in, whether you are here, bless you, whether you are watching us from home, wherever you are, just breathe. As we come apart for a while. And as always, we enter into this experience with gratitude. As we say thank you for this time to be together, to remember the truth of who we are, that we are spiritual beings having an incredible human experience, that we are sparks of the divine in human form. And we say thank you for whatever space you are in right now. We hope you are safe and comfortable and ready to receive whatever this time together has to offer. And finally, we say thank you for one another, for this beloved community so committed to making a difference in the world, to being that change that we wish to see. And so it is. Amen. So please stand if you are able. Together, may the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to hurt, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, divine Spirit. And so this morning we are relaxing and letting go.
I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And every day I release my fears, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. I am well, all is well.
I think that should be our permanent opening song. What do you think, right? And then next time we'll wear our poodle skirts. All right, let's share together in our vision statement. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we go, we provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. And one of the ways that we practice is to honor wherever you are on your hugging journey. So if you want to hug, this is the signal that we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, we'll respect that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, we totally understand. And we will honor whatever bubble you create about yourself. Have a great time.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul
I just can't hold it longer than that, you guys.
That was actually good.
All righty, some announcements. Our prayer chaplains today are Linda Klein, Leslie Burris, and Linda Longenecker. They will be holding sacred space for us throughout today's service, and they will be available over here for one-on-one prayer after the service. And also, just a reminder, we do have prayer request forms up by our little church up front on the prayer table. So if you would like to, if you have a prayer request and you want to fill one of those out, they go to their prayer chaplains, and then they also go out to Silent Unity, where they pray on them for 30 days. So remember that those little prayer request forms are over there. All right, so October 20th, please plan to be here. It is a rich, full day. We will have youth ed that day. We have our annual meeting, which takes the place of our hug meeting that day, and then the council will be meeting after the annual meeting that day. So the membership renewal forms for voting members are downstairs where all the sign-ups are. And they will also be in a PDF of them, will be in the weekly email this week. So if you can't get in to pick one up, please do. If you are a voting member, please fill that out. That lets us know if you want to stay a voting member or if you no longer want to be a voting member. And please do get them back the Wednesday before the annual meeting. And I can't remember what that date is, but it's the Wednesday before the annual meeting. And as always, the council will be feeding us on annual meeting day, so do plan on coming for lunch, and then we will have our yearly annual meeting. If you are a voting member, you will be getting an email this week pursuant to our bylaws. We have to actually notify you in writing 10 days before the annual meeting. And we also are allowed, pursuant to our bylaws, to make that in writing via email. So you want to make sure we have your correct email. That email will be going out to you this week, notifying you that about the meeting on the 20th. My next class is going to be reading the Bible again for the first time, which is another Marcus Borg book that I absolutely love. And I don't think I've offered this. It was pre-COVID. It was PC, right? And I do remember that after that class, there were some people came up and said that it literally blew their mind, that they really did see the Bible in a completely different way than they ever had, and in a much more positive way than they ever had. So we will be putting a sign-up sheet out. It doesn't start until November 7th, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. So when I get back from my 2 weeks off later this month, we will begin the class that week. Kate is having a concert on Saturday, November 9th. I know, she's very excited. So that'll be awesome. So put that on your calendar. These are just save the dates for you. And we are having a bus trip to Longwood Gardens on December 7th, and Tammy would like to make an announcement. And Beck, can you run her the microphone?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have finalized the details for the bus trip. It is December the 7th. We're leaving here at 2 p.m. We'll be leaving Longwood Gardens at 7 p.m. to come back. When I called to book a bus, they had one left. So we got the last bus. It's a 38-passenger bus. The total charge was $1,717. So that puts each person at $46 for the bus. I see we have 32 people signed up. I stepped out in faith and came up with the cost of a full bus. So we have room for 6 more people. So let's see if we can get 6 more people. And I need the money by November 11th because I need to pay off the bus so they will show up to pick us up. The bus will be here at 1:45 that day, so we can pull out at 2 o'clock. If you have any questions, you can come see me after church or call me or email me or however.
Can I have the sign-up sheet? Thanks. Hold on one. Okay, not that I'm pulling rank or anything, but I am. Okie dokie pokey. Thank you so much. All right, and now Becky. My mother would be very unhappy if I forgot to put her name down. Would you please read the daily word?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. The word for today is joy. I rejoice in life's simple pleasures. Life's biggest moments, weddings, births, graduations, celebrations of all kinds, are cause for joy. But joy is also found in life's simpler moments, the day-to-day happenings that comprise daily living. Joy is in the sunrise, in my morning prayer, in the familiar faces I love and look forward to seeing, in the satisfaction I get from my work. It is in my favorite things and in the sweet surprises that come from trying something new and different. Joy is in the comfort I find in my favorite spiritual practices and in finding God anew as I deepen in spiritual insight. However it manifests, joy is part of me, a way to feel the peace and power of God in my heart and deep in my soul. And from 1 Chronicles 29:22, and they ate and drank before the Lord on that day with great joy.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
And so this morning we have much to lift up in prayer. I have been watching the results, the outcome of Hurricane Helene, and have had mixed emotions as I look at the absolute devastation and then at the incredible response. And so we're in that place of both and as we surround those who have been impacted with our care and our comfort and our strength, and we also give gratitude for those who are responding and surround them with sleep and energy as they continue to care. So let's take that and others into our prayer time this morning. So right now, while we may be visualizing or remembering pictures that we've seen of towns being swept away, of roads being destroyed, we can also visualize, as Mr. Rogers so eloquently once shared, the helpers, the incredible outpouring of support, of help, of product, of comfort, of hundreds and hundreds of volunteers going door to door, of heavy trucks coming from as far as Canada to help, of power companies going above and beyond to restore power, of semis rolling in with gallons and gallons of fresh water. We visualize the helpers, and we surround them with strength and courage and resolve. We affirm that they will get the rest that they need to continue this incredible work. And we also surround those that have suffered loss, whether it be loss of property or loss of a loved one. We surround them with our comfort and our compassion and our resolve to help. And then we shift our focus closer to home for those of our beloved community that are not with us today because they are recovering from illness or surgery. We see them healing. We see them as pain-free as possible. We see them receiving the help that they need. And we are grateful when they ask for our support. And so we visualize those beloved. We see them whole and healthy, filled with the joy we just heard of this morning. And as always, we affirm that together or apart, we are always connected at the heart. And so it is. Amen.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are home. You are beautiful. You are home.
Bless you.
Well, I know that I won't wash away in this wave of tears, and I know I won't hide behind my fears. They're just fears, they're not real. They just steal your heart. So this time I am choosing love. Being here right now is so sweet. I can hardly take it in, but I did, and I will just stay with the way this feels. I will remember to make enough room for this time. I am choosing love. Well, these things that seem so hard are really simple. Though the limbs that we walk out on may be thin, and all the things we need are right there waiting for us to let them in. So here I go, and I know who's here with me, and now it's time to be brave and relearn how to be me, to fly so high and not just try. I'm gonna do my best for this time. I am choosing love. Ooh, this time I am choosing love. Oh, I am choosing love.
I just love it when Janie years ago writes the perfect song for today's talk. So October is going to be a month of alliteration, which, by the way, I spelled wrong the first time I typed it in. Glad that Word corrected me. That would have been embarrassing. So today is the Serenity of Surrender. Next week is going to be the Power of Purpose. And then October 20th, the day of our annual meeting, is going to be the Courage of Community. What do you think? So I'll talk to Gwen about the 29th and see if she can come up with something alliterative to continue the theme. So, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Sound familiar? So according to Michael Singer in the Surrender Experiment, and if you want to know more about this book, talk to Sherry at Fellowship. He says this: I am so grateful that surrender had taught me to willingly participate in life's dance with a quiet mind and an open heart. Isn't that beautiful? So a couple of definitions. Serenity is the state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. Just a quick show of hands. Who would like to be calm, peaceful, and untroubled? Good job, guys. All right. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be a little bit more of a dialogue. I'm going to share with you some thoughts on surrender and some quotes on surrender, and then we're going to talk, because I want to know what it means to you to surrender and how that shows up in your life. If it shows up in your life, what it looks like, all right? So there won't be a test, but just bear with me for a few minutes and then we're going to have a conversation. So Sonia Rakoti says, surrender to what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. Again, sounds pretty good. Debbie Ford, who many of you are familiar with because I use her book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, when I teach my Embracing the Gifts of Our Shadow class. She also wrote a book called Spiritual Divorce, Divorce as a Catalyst for an Extraordinary Life. Sounds like a good one, doesn't it? So this is what she says in that book. Surrender is the ultimate sign of strength and the foundation for a spiritual life. Surrendering affirms that we are no longer willing to live in pain. Isn't that interesting? Surrendering allows us to return to our true nature and move effortlessly through the cosmic dance called life. It's a powerful statement that proclaims the perfect order of the universe. When you surrender your will, you are saying, even though things are not exactly how I'd like them to be, I will face my reality. I will look it directly in the eye and allow it to be here. So notice that she's not saying that we ignore reality. In fact, at the heart of surrender is facing reality. What is actually happening here? Surrender and serenity are synonymous. You can't experience one without the other. So if it's serenity you're searching for, it's close by. All you have to do is resign as general manager of the universe. Did you hear that, honey? Okay. Surrender is a gift that you can give yourself. It's an act of faith. It's saying that even though I can't see where this river is flowing, I trust it will take me in the right direction. So that was Debbie Ford. So that reminded me of that wonderful MLK quote that I love that says, take the first step, not knowing what's at the top of the staircase. That's really the ultimate act of surrender, because you're acknowledging the reality that there is a staircase, right? You're not pretending it isn't there. You're not pretending the path isn't there. You're saying, I'm willing to take one step in the direction I think I need to be going, trusting that the next step will become obvious. You know, I love the metaphor of the flashlight. The flashlight doesn't illuminate the entire path. It illuminates the next couple of steps. And so we take those, and then it shines a little further, and then we take those. We do not know what's at the end of that path, but we trust the process. We're surrendering to that. So then there was an article I found by Celine Redfield called Finding Serenity in Surrender. So here's what she says. In our society, surrendering is usually equated with two things, battles and religion, which is kind of an interesting juxtaposition there. When we use it in our personal lives, surrendering can teach us important lessons about ourselves and what we hold on to. Surrender has to do with knowing when it's time to throw in the towel and stop forcing things. It shows a person how to practice humility. Surrender allows us to be willing to have a new outcome and to be open to what will be. Here are 5 ways to learn how surrendering can help you to find more calm in your life. I'm just going to go really briefly through these, and I'll post the links to these blogs in the weekly email. So the first thing she says, surrender is not about defeat, it's about being free. The definition of surrender, according to Merriam-Webster, is to agree to stop fighting, hiding, resisting, etc., because you know that you will not win or succeed. She says, she quotes the Greek myth of Sisyphus. Do you remember Sisyphus? It was the one that was rolling you got it, rolling the boulder up, and then the boulder would roll all the way back down. And then rolling the boulder up, and then the boulder would roll all the way back down. And she uses this as a great example of the definition of insanity, right? To keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Now, when we have that visual of Sisyphus and the boulder, we think, well, why did he keep doing that? Well, good question. Why do we keep doing things the same way over and over again, expecting a different result? And then we get frustrated, and we get angry, and we get resentful, because we keep thinking if we keep doing the same thing, we'll get a different result. And it doesn't work that way. It's about surrendering to the fact that the boulder's going to roll back down. So at some point, we stop trying to push it up the hill. Okay. Surrender teaches acceptance. When we cease fighting the circumstances in our lives, we get to learn the gift of acceptance. Acceptance allows us to be just where we are without judgment and to see life with eyes of equanimity. I love that word. Practicing surrender and acceptance allows us to let go of expectations and be open to the process of life. Acceptance is about pausing and letting things unfold. Number 3, surrender keeps our monkey mind from ruling us. In our daily lives, most humans struggle with that constant chatter that wants us to be right, it wants us to win. It's the part of us that's that perpetual child that needs love and attention and recognition. But when we can let that go, when we can learn how to deal with that, she says we can live more authentically. We can learn to quiet that voice by practicing surrender. It allows us to be vulnerable, to admit our failures, and to learn to ask for help. And Marianne Williamson said, something amazing happens when we surrender and just love. So thank you, Janie, that was perfect. We melt into another world, a realm of power already within us. The world changes when we change. The world softens when we soften. The world loves us when we choose to love the world. And that was Marianne Williamson. So surrendering is choosing not to suffer. So what is one of the 4 noble truths? What is the cause of suffering? Craving, attachment, right? It's the opposite of surrender. It's trying to force something to work out the way we think it should. And it is the cause of all suffering. She says we create our own suffering every time we choose to try to control things. So what will we choose? Surrender or more suffering? And then finally she says surrendering is letting go of old baggage. It's the ultimate act of letting go. When we're stuck in the past, resentment and anger, we have a difficult time moving forward. So are we willing to let the baggage go, to let it down and move forward unencumbered? So then the final piece I want to share is by Srinivas Rao, Surrender is the Path to a Better Life. This is a pretty long one, so I'm just going to hit the high points, and I'll share the link with you. But I love how he starts it. We read self-help books, listen to podcasts, hire coaches, and go to therapy. Now, I just want to say none of those things are bad, okay? In an effort to change or fix all the things we think are wrong with our lives. This is why my team jokes that every guest on our podcast is a reflection of some problem I've been trying to solve in my own life. The premise, in quotes, of self-improvement is that we are inherently flawed and that some external coach, guru, course, retreat, or workshop holds the keys to our transformation into the ideal versions of ourselves. Close quotes. I think that's BS. I cleaned that up a little bit for the stream. I think there's a far less toxic and more effective way to coming into your own as a person. Surrender is the path. So he says we must remember that everything we fight has power over us. Everything we deny has power over us. Think of the energy that we put into denial. He says, this means radical acceptance of everything that happens. In battle, surrender indicates a loss. In life, it indicates a spiritual victory. But understand that there's a difference between surrender and resignation. When you surrender, you stop trying to control the circumstances and events of your life, and you let them unfold in the same way you let the weather change. Resignation is an assumption that your fate is sealed and the worst things about your life will never change. Surrender, on the other hand, opens your life up to limitless possibilities. So one of the ways that I differentiate is surrender is, this isn't working, what's next? This isn't working, what are the possibilities? Resignation is, this isn't working, I give up. I throw up my hands in despair and I'm done, right? One has an energy of possibility, one has an energy of no possibility, right? So Michael Sanger, in the Surrender Experiment, says, what would happen if we respected the flow of life and used our free will to participate in what's unfolding instead of fighting it? What would be the quality of the life that unfolds? Would it just be random events with no order or meaning? Or would the same perfection of order and meaning that manifests in the rest of the universe manifest in the everyday life around us? And so his practice was to say yes to whatever showed up in his life, to surrender and say yes. And Sherry can fill you in on some of the details of how amazing his journey became when he started to just say yes. So, he says there are 4 illusions we must understand and accept. This is back to the blog. The illusion of control. We don't have control. Nature is on a rhythm that we don't control. The ocean goes from calm to violent and back in a matter of minutes. Waves come in sets, and then there's nothing. We can't control when it rains or when the sun shines, obviously. We don't control when it's hot or cold. We adjust accordingly. But when it comes to every other part of our lives, we spend copious amounts of energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Can anybody relate? Right? We try to control what people think of us. We try to control how we're received. We try to control our path. We try to control what we believe success is. He says, ask yourself if what you've been trying to control can't be controlled. This creates a lot of unnecessary suffering, robbing us of the peace that's available when we can remain detached from outcomes. So this is a really important distinction. Surrender doesn't mean that we don't have goals. Surrender doesn't mean that we can't have an idea that we want to bring into fruition. Surrender means that we have that goal, we have that project, that whatever it is that we're trying to create, and we're willing to allow the process to unfold. Right? It doesn't mean we let go of the goal, right? But we're willing, instead of seeing every obstacle as a hindrance, we start to see every obstacle as an opportunity or a possibility. Oh, maybe we could do it differently. We're still focused on the goal, right? This doesn't mean that we just kind of wander through life aimlessly. It's about a less painful, less angst-filled way of accomplishing what it is we want to accomplish. Does that make sense? Right? So it doesn't mean you can't have ideas and you can't want to accomplish something. Absolutely. But we're open to the process. So, second one, we let go of the illusion of certainty. Life is uncertain. Stuff happens. It's not that when something happens that we need to go into the depths of despair and beat ourselves up and ask, how did I attract this to me? Right? Be way less interested in that question and way more interested in the question, now that this has happened, now that I'm facing this reality, how am I going to show up in the presence of this situation? Who am I willing to be in the presence of this situation? What am I willing to do in the presence of this situation? Do you see how those questions move us forward? But why did this happen to me tends to keep us stuck in that moment, right? It's a far more active way of being in life. The illusion of security. I think if the last 10 years have taught us anything, between everything that's going on in the world and in our country and COVID, is that there is absolutely nothing secure about security, right? That what we have, and this is what our friends in Tennessee and North Carolina and Georgia and Florida are dealing with right now. Those people had no idea that within 24 hours, their entire lives would be turned upside down. And it could happen to any one of us. There is no such thing as security. So how are we in the presence of that? Are we fearful and do we panic? Or do we flow? Do we ask ourselves those same questions? How am I willing to show up in this situation? And then finally, the illusion of permanence. He says, one of my mentors used to say, we live in a world of diminishing permanence. What's trendy today is an afterthought tomorrow. See, this is why I have clothes from the 1980s. Vicky, okay? The weather changes from day to day and season to season. People who are young become old. People who are popular in high school sometimes become a nobody later in life. The person who we think loves us today might break our heart a few months from now. People who are poor become rich, and people who are rich become poor. The illusion of permanence causes us to cling to everything with clenched fists. It makes us believe good things are going to last forever and bad things are never going to end. We stifle, imprison, and repel anything or anybody that we cling to. Somebody once said to me, it's like having a baby bird in your hand. If you hold on too tightly, you'll smush the bird. If you do it with open hands, it will naturally fly away. So you can set it free, or you can kill it with your grip. So what are we doing in our lives? Are we setting ourselves free, or are we killing it with our grip? So what are your thoughts on surrender? Does it fill you with dread and fear or hope and possibility? What are your experiences with surrender? Vic, can I have the microphone?
I really, really like the illusion of control. Not of other people, but of, my surroundings, my life. But I found the most rewarding experience was when I let go of that control and let the universe take me to the ultimate height. So I still don't like to give up the illusion of control, but I do understand that amazing, amazing things can happen if I do.
Excellent. And thank you for being so honest. Yeah, of course we want to maintain that illusion of control, right? It brings us comfort. If I can just control this, everything will be okay. And then, but what happens when it's not okay? Right? Because eventually, something's going to be not okay. Right? Yeah. The illusion of control. Just gotta love it, right?
Thank you. One of the things that I discovered, found out, learned a few years ago is how close trust is to surrender. And that was something that I really, it took me a while to understand, because I was having trouble with the whole idea of surrender. But then it turned out I felt that way because I didn't trust anybody
Gotcha.
and didn't trust anything either.
Like the universe.
Like the
Yeah.
like the universe, but starting with my parents, I
Yeah.
didn't trust them, and
Yeah.
so it spiraled for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
and that was quite a revelation to find out how connected those two things are.
Yeah, that's actually a brilliant observation, because inherent in trusting the universe or God or the force or our higher inner power or our divine inner spark, whatever we want to call it, is trusting that that's a good thing, right? It's trusting that we live in a benevolent universe, and that what is going to unfold when we surrender to that will be for our highest good. The other thing that happens, because that's really a great observation, Linda, is completely just lost that train of thought. The other thing about trusting the universe, it'll come back. Who else? Oh, sorry.
Well, I'll just speak about a practice that I have. It's called centering prayer, and I think it's similar to what is practiced here. I really don't like the word surrender. It doesn't help me. So I like to think of it as consent. And it's a form of wordless prayer where you sit usually with your eyes closed, but you can also gaze at a candle or an object. And it's, you consent to the presence of the divine within. And I believe that the divine in that time works as a divine therapist, and beautiful things happen as a result of that.
Yeah.
So I like the word consent.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Jeff.
So when life shows up in a really challenging way, as it has recently, I have a tendency to go to battle. And for me, surrender is not only about allowing life to flow, but it's also the gateway to self-care and compassion. And if I don't say yes to filling my own cup, I've got nothing for anybody else.
Yeah. 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 I'll hold it for you. No, I'll hold it for you.
This is not about surrender. I just had a thought of Hurricane Helena. Maybe we could put some money toward building houses for Hurricane Helena, for a fundraiser for Hurricane Helena, how it damaged tons of buildings.
That's actually a wonderful idea, and we had a similar idea that our global tithe for September, which is the tithe we send out to places other than local, is going to go down to North Carolina. It's through an organization called Samaritan's Purse. You can Google it. They do really good work. And I also understand that I'm pretty sure that Habitat for Humanity is on the ground too. And we give to them regularly. So, good idea, sweetheart. Very good idea. Very compassionate. Who else? Sam? Still waiting to see if that thought comes back, that I'm surrendering to it, just floating to the ethers. Spin the Rolodex.
So this is interesting because, 2 weeks ago, a hawk flew in front of me, and I looked it up, and it meant finding all possibilities to your goal. My goal is surrender, to allow things to just have it, because sometimes they get in the way. So yesterday, I lost my phone and the holster, everything's gone. And so I went to my neighbor's house, they weren't there, my other neighbor's house, I'm like, oh my God. And of course,
Chanting always helps.
and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, calm down, calm down. So what it led me to do, I'm like, okay, let's see where we're gonna go. It led me to go to a neighbor I didn't know as well and ask them to help me by calling me. I'm like, interesting, because the other neighbors were gone that I knew well, and my phone was in the middle of my yard. How did it get in the middle?
Wow. Yes.
So that's a lesson in surrender. And
Yes.
see where it takes us.
Yes, that's a
Well, for me anyway.
no, that's a brilliant lesson. I read recently that when we have a hard time asking for help, that's a trauma response, right? That asking for help is a perfectly natural human thing to do, but at some point we discovered that it was a bad thing to do, right? Through whatever happened in our lives. So when we ask for help, that in and of itself is an act of surrender. Because we're saying, I can't do this. I don't know what to do. I need help. It's an act of surrender. And it's a really powerful act of surrender because you're making a connection. You connected with a neighbor that you didn't really know because you asked for help, right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Chris, and then we'll go into meditation.
I'll hold it. I have more of a question than a view.
Okay.
I think anxiety is the opposite of serenity, and as someone who, lives in anxiety, I think my anxiety is because I'm trying to control everything. However, I want to surrender, but how do I know I'm in the right river?
So,
If I'm supposed to be upstream,
I got you. No, you're good. Okay, so this goes back to, that's a fantastic question. How do I know if I'm in the right river? The river you're in is the right river. That's part of surrender, is I'm surrendering to the reality that I'm in, right? Okay.
Joseph Campbell.
Yes. We must be willing to get rid of the life we plan so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Right? It's actually one of my favorite Joseph Campbell quotes. Yes, wherever river you're in is the right river. Right? You get that? Surrender is not fighting the river that we're in. It's going with the flow of the river that we're in, and if we're supposed to be in another river, by going with the flow we're in, we'll get there. Right? But by clinging to the shore, right, we're not going to get anywhere. And questioning where we are right now is a form of clinging to the shore. Right? Does that make sense? It's an excellent question. And yes, anxiety, in many of the forms that it takes, is absolutely not trusting the outcome. Right? It's, and I hesitate to talk about, I too struggle with anxiety, and I'm a huge proponent of medication and therapy and coaching and friends and venting. And at some point, we have to look at, okay, well, why am I anxious? And it's because I cannot control what's going on around me. Right? So it goes back to that impermanence and lack of security and not having any control, and how that makes us humans crazy. Doesn't it, humans? Right? It's letting go of that illusion of control. So when I can surrender, Breathing helps, chanting helps, talking to friends who are wiser than me helps, right? When I can remember, I can only do what I can do. We had that conversation at one of my tables at the Eastern Region Conference, and someone brought up their anxiety around the election, and I said, okay, I'm going to tell you what I've been telling myself and my folks. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Focus on how you are showing up in this moment. Always do your best, even if your best on any given day is 10%, right? And then do something. Take an action. It helps, right? So focus on what we can control, even if it's this teeny tiny, right? You know what else helps me, Chris? No. For those of you online who didn't hear that, Vicky said wine. Yes, I do enjoy my Chardonnay. But the other thing that helps me, this is just something that I do, is I tidy. When I can restore order, like I can control that I made my bed. Are you working with Marie? Nope. Although, we are. Yeah. No, so that's what I mean by focus on what you can control. All right? I can control unloading the dishwasher. I can control making my bed. I can control, well, actually I really can't control mowing the yard when it rains 11 straight days. But you know what I'm saying? Little things. So whatever it is that helps you to lower that screen. I think Stretton Smith used to call it the screen of anxiety. And you're going to love this. He used a Star Trek episode to illustrate it in the 4T Prosperity Program. So what can you do to lower that anxiety, right? Because you're right, anxiety is the opposite of surrendering, right? So much we can't control right now, guys, but there are little things that we can bring us comfort, all right? Okay, thank you for contributing. Let's take this into meditation. Turn it off for me.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fears that block my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment of the day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day.
So we breathe together. We breathe in those beautiful, powerful words. I surrender to my greatest, highest good. And so, yes, we trust that we live in a benevolent universe. And when we are willing to surrender to the river that we are in, we experience freedom. For instead of grasping at the branches and the rocks, we allow ourselves to flow. We flow around the boulders. We toss and tumble in waves over the branches. And we dance over the waterfalls. Life becomes a joy. And when we do notice that fear or resentment or anxiety creeping back in, we take a breath, we pause, we reflect. In this moment, in this reality, who am I? And what is mine to do? And then we sit with the questions. And we allow ourselves to flow with the answers. We surrender to our greatest, highest good. Not out of fear or resignation, but out of acceptance, out of trust, and into joy.
For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. I am kinder every moment, every day, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
That was beautiful. So this is the time of our service where we express gratitude for your giving of your time, your talent, and your treasure to this community. We are so grateful for your ongoing generosity, for we know that the work of this community, of this congregation, is so important in the world right now. So if you have paper there's a basket, or you can send it through the ethers, which more and more of you are doing. And again, thank you for those of us who are watching us online. We are so grateful when we receive your gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey, hey, did you ever think there might be another way to just feel better about today? Oh no, if you never want to have to turn and go away, you might feel better if you stay. And yeah, I bet you haven't heard a word I said. Yeah. If you've had enough of all you're trying, just give up the state of mind you're in. If you wanna be somebody else, and if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself, if you wanna be somebody else, change your mind. Change your mind. Hey, hey, have you ever danced in the rain or thanked the sun just for shining for the sea? Oh no, take it all in the world just to show. And yeah, you look much better when you glow. Yeah, I hope you heard every word I've said. Yeah, if you've had enough of all you're trying, just give up the state of mind you're in. If you wanna be somebody else, if you're tired of fighting battles with yourself, if you wanna be someone else, then change your mind. Change your mind. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, hey, what you say? We both go and seize the day. 'Cause what's your hurry anyway? And yeah, I hope you've heard every word I said. Yeah, well, if you've had enough of all you're trying, just give up the state of mind you're in. And if you wanna be somebody else, if you're tired of losing battles with yourself, if you wanna be somebody else, then change your mind. Change your mind. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's a New Thought 101 song, right? Change your mind. Let's stand and share in our unity blessing. Together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. And it is birthday Sunday, so we will sing the birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Nyla, Tracy, Lisa, Steve, Jerry, Dan, Abby, Dave, Jeff, and Karen. Happy birthday to you and many more. Together, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Let's sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Go forth and enjoy the freedom of surrender. Amen? Amen? Amen. Well done. Join us downstairs for fellowship because that smell is driving me crazy. Oh my God. Come on down and eat with us.